So we're back with another shorty. There's only a few people that can call me that. So what are we doing this time? Probably more mounting. Might look at that water cooling overflow tank. Might look at taking the forks off. Why don't we all fork off? There it is, hands free. Kind of mounted. Yeah, lucky I saved that bolt. That's from the MV Augusta. Just happened to be exactly the right length. However, I haven't got a spacer on it yet. I'll probably need that as extra support. Although, I don't know. Anyway, that goes there, I think, somehow. Maybe not that how. And I've been waiting to use this for a long time. We like meshy things, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Nah. Alright, I'm putting it off. I know. I've got to undo those Allen bolts and get those forks off, haven't I? Okay. Alright, so first off, I just dropped off the actual brake lines, which were screwed into there. So they're both now gone. Well, I think next I'm going to take this off, because apart from that, the handlebars are ready to go. So, we've got the shrouding undone, and obviously the next stage is to release the throttle cables, the back and forth, which are going to fit into that new fitting I've got. I'm sure there's a proper way to do this, and no matter what I twiddle with on the other end of the throttle, they don't kind of come free enough, the cable itself, there, to hook over that like a cable should. So I'm going to have to work that out when I put them back, but right now I'm just going to break this mother, because I'm not going to be reusing it, and nor is anyone else. Just labelled that one up because we don't want the throttle to work the wrong way around, so R for return or rear. Well, these boys came undone really nicely, and so did that one for the handlebar. That one there, yep, and now I've discovered there's a hidden screw under a rubber doofer. So I'm going to have to get that off carefully with a screwdriver. Hopefully I don't need to label them up, because I'd have to be really stupid to try and put them on back to front. Upside down, wrong way around. I know what you're thinking. So at this point, with just two bolts to go, I have obviously raised it off the breeze block, so that if they start to drop out, which they may well, they're not going to drop too far, but there's somewhere for them to go and the whole thing won't collapse. So I have marked this just to make sure. There's a little L on there for the left one. Therefore, the other one must be the right one, right? So I don't need to mark them both. There we are, suspended animation. Or, well, it's not very animated at all, actually, is it? So I think I'm going to turn that breeze block round, get the wheel out of the way, and drop it back down on the breeze block. Oh no, I need to get this off first. Yes, that's why we're doing this. We need to get the tree, yoke, whatever you want to call it. That's coming off. It's going far too smoothly. It worries me. And of course, this might be that very point, because I'll probably find that A, the chain is in the way, B, I should have kept everything together so I could brace it and then loosen this off. But let's see how it goes. Do this job on that silly little monkey bike, the Honda CT70 thing, and yeah, that kind of worked. So a whole new front forks, front disc, everything, and actually remarkable value, brand new. The whole thing, front forks, disc, caliper, everything was like, I want to say it was like 250 bucks for the whole lot. Remarkable. All right, we're pulling out the biggest of the big guns. It's a 36mm. Wasn't that a howitzer in the Second World War? Oh, I need to look that up. Well, that and the big breaker bar, actually it came off real easy, and it shouldn't be that tight. Yeah, these things should be torqued down to a specific torque, because of course they've got to allow movement. And actually that top nut is actually aluminium. Yes, so, you know, not designed to be wrenched down massively tight. So that's that top yoke off, and tree thing, and yes, I got to make up my mind what I'm going to do with this. I really don't fancy grinding all that bit off, but if it comes to it, I will. That'll be tedious and dirty and grubby and lots of cleaning up to do afterwards. As for the rest of it, I'm actually going to leave that there. I don't want to touch that. I did on the little Honda monkey bike, but I'm not going to on this because I'm not actually replacing that bit. I am going to be spraying these boys because of this horrible chrome finish that's completely shot. So that will just require some clever masking, and I'm very good at that. There, see, told you I was. Don't mention the masking, it upsets the trumpeters. Anyway, enough of that, I've already lost 2 more subscribers. So we're now needing to employ 2 breeze blocks, and I hope they're going to be stable. It's going to be a little bit precarious, but it's still going to be basically supported by the chain. And yeah, we'll just lower it down onto that. Peacefully to rest, which may well happen if the rest of the project doesn't go very well. I've also employed the use of a 4x4. Always very useful to have kicking around the workshop. See, don't throw shit away. As you can see by the saggy chains, that is fully supported by my house of cards. But I'm just going to bring it up so that all the weight is not on those. So just gently until I feel it. Just take the pressure, there we go. And leave it like that. Unfortunately, it's not on the side stand as well, but there's a little bit of clearance there. But should it fall over, hopefully it'll fall over that way. But that would require one of those going, or this hydraulic going, and that all toppling over, which is very unlikely. When you live in a zoo like me, you have to be aware of these things because dogs can push stuff over. Especially 90-pound wolf dogs that still think they're puppies. So, if you're looking forward to somebody showing you how to remove the whole yoke, unlucky, look it up on somebody else's. Just keep watching, I promise I'll do it sooner or later on some project at some point. I have to work out what I'm going to do with these, and I'm pretty sure these I'm just going to clean up and paint up, and start slotting stuff back on them once I get the forks back on. With this, I don't know, you know, I mean, the idea is possibly to take all that out, all that, but I don't know if I've got the energy, and I'm thinking that's where the original ignition key went, but it might kind of been handy for mounting that speedometer, yeah, with that and that somehow. I don't know yet. I shall look at the 2 things together, the speedo and this. Now I've got it off, a lot easier to muck about. So yes, that's that. Funny, just looking at the stance of that now, it's off the forks, and I think that front end is slightly lower than it was before. Maybe my imagination, and of course you can adjust that by where you clamp down the forks. You can adjust the height of the front end, but at the same time you're adjusting rake and everything else, and potentially trashing the whole handling, which I don't know enough about at this point, but maybe I should look into that because I really like that stance. Just kind of more forward looking, more yeah, that way. I shall investigate. Oh, and talking of investigation, yes, you know, I said I couldn't find that that special washer for the sprocket. Couldn't find it on eBay apart from some guy in the UK who wanted like 16 quid and plus postage and everything else. And yes, so here's what you do. Do not search on search on eBay. Search on Google and you will still find guides on eBay that don't come up under their own search. So that just shows you the power of Google. And found a guy in well, somewhere in the States, can't remember, but the bolt and the washer for $15 shipped, free shipping. So that's on its way. So of course I couldn't wait to investigate. And talking of investigation, yeah, so there's that one mount on this yoke that I was thinking would potentially fit the mount on the Speedo, and as you'll see, it kind of lines up that in the middle of that hole. So what I'm thinking is some kind of device in the hole that allows me to secure that. Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I like the idea, because you know, you've still got access there to the actual electrical side of things. That lines up beautifully. It's square if I turn it around the other way, and that could sit bang in the middle of that. So it just needs something, even if Derek has to weld something in there to mount that. I like that idea. Obviously that's disgustingly horrible and needs painting, but I can't show you really, but yeah, it lines up nicely. By the way, I'm very disappointed with these lights on the side. They are not the fun meter as they are on the Augusta and the Triumph. They are merely silly lights, like you got your lights on and your petrol's getting low and whatever. It's not a rev counter thing that goes green and then orange and then red when you have to change gear. So that's very boring, Mr. Yamasaki. So at this point I'm still filming, haven't started editing. I have no idea how far we're in. Are you still with us, millennials? Is it 10 minutes yet? You may have noticed these kicking around on the bench. I bought them as part of the wheel sticker package. I don't think I like them. They're slightly elongated, you can tell that's not a circle, it's an oval, and this is not as condensed as it should be. And actually I've seen some other stickers that I kind of like for the wheels better. I'm going to try these, I'm going to put them on because I don't always take them off. Tell me what you think. Well, you can still tell me what you think, but I'm pretty sure they're coming off because A, they are reflective, but I'm not going out in the dark, and I don't care. And they don't match that yellow, and yeah, nah. Tell me if you agree. I think they're rubbish. Oh no, what's he doing with the fuel tank? Well, nothing, obviously. It's a very grubby job. It's very hot outside at the moment in Arizona, and I just can't bring myself to do it inside. It could create too much mess. And yeah, so it can wait. Obviously I want to paint it. I'm very excited about painting it. Is this ride getting a bit choppy for you old folk like me? Maybe I'm just trying to keep the young ones entertained. So there'll be no masking involved with these because I had a thought, and I'm going to need to sand them anyway to get all the grub off before I spray them. And actually just sanding is nice. It's taking all the chrome off. We've just got a nice brushed aluminium finish, so that's what I'm going to do. No painting involved whatsoever. Clean them up and good to go. And having roughed this down, roughed it up, sanded it down, roughed it up. Anyway, a little bit for painting. I kind of like that actually. This is more and more of a street fighter rather than a CafeRacer. Anyway, I've decided I'm going to just throw that in the dishwasher, get it ready for paint, give it a lick of black, and I might even put a sticker. So there's some really kind of nice carbon fibre-y type stickers specifically for this bike, this yoke, and that might do the job if the paint don't come out great. If it does, still might do that. Oh, I think you'll agree those look pretty good. I'm not so worried about that bit in the middle because that's all going to be covered up, but I will clean up a little bit more, I promise. Yeah, so no more horrible chrome. Why did they do that? I mean, this just looks lovely. Yeah, there, those ones. Quite nice. And while we're here, much better stickers for the wheels, I think. Don't you agree? $5.99. Well, $10 by the time tax and everything is involved. Yoke and handlebars ready for dishwashing. This is not recommended unless you have a very understanding wife. Yes, well, we managed to remove that. Horrible. It's where it belongs. Yes, in the trash. And I'm now using this to get rid of the rest of the adhesive. But I have to say, very good stickers because they were a bitch to get off. And I just used my fingernails, actually, to avoid damaging the paint. And at this point, we're definitely over the 10 minutes, and everything seems to have come unstuck. So let's call it a day for this episode. Thanks for watching as usual. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and encourage your friends to come and watch my lunacy.